everyone. I'm going to be talking to you about an antidepressant called Zoloft today. I'm going to give you some background information about myself first. I started to have anxiety and panic attacks starting about a year ago, I think. And it just came out of nowhere. I haven't had it before. And the first time I had it, it was in a public place, and it was really scary. An ambulance was called. I was taken to hospital. I couldn't move. My body was shaking. It was a nightmare. But after quite a lot of tests, the doctors couldn't find anything. So they told me to go home. So basically I got up, and my boyfriend was there at the time, so he helped me get a taxi home. I could barely move or anything. I went to see a doctor, did more tests, but the results were the same. They couldn't find anything wrong with me. So finally I went to see another doctor who prescribed me to see a psychiatrist. And I went to see the psychiatrist, but it was hard to make an appointment, so I think it was about a couple of months before I could get a appointment booked in. So before that I was still having trouble with my everyday life, like going outside or doing anything. Basically it would cause a panic attack, and I was having it daily, on a daily basis. I couldn't do anything almost. So I went to my doctor, and she gave me Valium. So I started off taking 6 tablets of Valium a day. That was about 2 milligrams in a tablet. Then I sort of slowed down to like 3 tablets and to 2 tablets. But despite even taking the Valium, I was still having the anxiety and still sometimes even having the panic attacks. And it was getting to a stage where it was just unbearable. So when I went to see my psychiatrist, I explained the situation to her, and she said that, you know, I'm still young, I'm 22 years old, and she didn't want to get me addicted to any sort of medication. So she said, that's going to be the last option. First, I'm going to need you to go see a psychologist. So I went to see a psychologist for 2 months, and it didn't really help for me at all. So I went back to the psychiatrist, and she prescribed me Zoloft. And there are side effects with Zoloft. Like you gotta expect some side effects from any medication, but this particular antidepressant starts off with a lot of side effects. So when I first started taking it, every side effect you can think of, I pretty much had it. It was terrible. It was I started off shaking at first. It felt like I had Parkinson's disease. My whole body was trembling, and I couldn't control it. Nausea, headaches, just all sorts of things. Yeah, I was just feeling terrible. More anxiety, suicidal thoughts, like really, really terrible. And every day was just dragging on and on because it was just so bad. But I knew that the side effects were going to go away. I read some reviews online, and my psychiatrist, my doctor, the person at the chemist, they all said the same thing, that it's going to give you side effects, but you gotta sort of wait for it. They said it's going to be about 2 weeks. So I started off taking half the tablets first for the first 4 days. I was on the 50 milligrams tablet. So I was taking half a tablet for the first 4 days so my body would get used to it. And then I started taking 1 tablet a day from then on. After 10 days, the side effects were starting to clear up, and I felt like I was less anxious. It was definitely working, starting to show like signs that it's working for me. And then after about 2 weeks, it was even less side effects, and I felt like I was almost back to normal, but still little side effects continued on for about another month or so, but gradually just gets better and better. And I've been on this for about 2.5 months now, and like my life is pretty much back to normal now. It's just really, really amazing. I mean, there's still things that I'm scared to do, but overall it's definitely working for me. I'm glad that I stuck with it, because at first the side effects are quite traumatizing. They're probably worse than before I was taking it, but you really have to hang in there, you know, give it a good 2 months. If the doctor prescribes it to you, just try it for at least 2 months before you give up, because yeah, there's side effects, but they will gradually go away and you do get better. So yeah, also things like trying new things usually gives me anxiety, so I was really worried about doing this and that, but you gotta try it once. The first time will be scary, but then the next time you do it, it's less scary, and then the next time you do it, it's less scary. So you gotta force yourself to try and just calm yourself down and tell yourself that, you know, it's gonna be alright. You're gonna get there. You can't just expect to do things and think it's gonna work out, but you gotta tell yourself that gradually you'll adapt and become back to normal. So you gotta like keep telling yourself that everything will be okay, and everything will be okay. Like for example, I was really scared to start drinking again, because I thought, oh, what if I mix the alcohol with the medication? Is it going to give me bad side effects? And I spoke to my psychiatrist. She said, no, it's not. So at the first like 2 months of taking the medication, I was like, oh no, I'm too scared, I don't want to take it. But then I finally, you know, got the courage, and I went out and I told myself, you know, even if it's scary today, next time I'm going to do it, it's not as scary. And I was right, and I'm glad I did that. And I remember going on the motorbike for the first time, and I was like, this is going to be really scary, because, you know, my anxiety, and I can't handle new things, and yet alone something so fast and dangerous. But yeah, the first time, I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely scary for me. But then the next time was still scary, but a little bit less scary. And then the next time, like third or fourth time, I already kind of thought it was fun. It wasn't so scary anymore. So everything you do, you just have to take it easy, like take it one step at a time, but you just can't give up on it. Try and fix it. Like my anxiety was really bad. It was really affecting my life. If I was to go back to that stage without having the options of the medication to help me better, I probably would commit suicide, because, you know, living in invalid like that, it's terrible. Even the Valium wasn't really helping much. So yeah, I'm so glad that they have this medication. If this one doesn't work, you know, at least try it for 2 months, see like the side effects, and compare it with how it's helping out. For me, there's no side effects anymore, but barely any, and I feel like I'm almost back to normal, like maybe 90% back to normal. So yeah, for me it's definitely working. I'm on this medication for 6 months. I will see how it goes after that. The only downside is that, of course, you know, you're not supposed to get pregnant while this, because it can affect the child, which is a bit of a problem for me, because my partner wants to have a child right now. But even if I wasn't on this medication, I don't think I'm ready for a child for another year or so. So, you know, he just has to deal with it. I think because my health is really important to me, you know, you don't want to risk your own life, you know, for this. You just gotta give it time. I know people have been telling me this, and it's just how we think, but then it's really hard at the time. I know, but you know, you don't want to give up. There's ways to fix it. You just need to keep trying. You have to keep telling yourself that everything will work out. So So I hope this video helped you guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, just leave your comments down below. Thank you.